This segment is sponsored by iChiro Clinics. Now that we've gotten the first good dose of snow, we are into the thick of slip and slide season or slip and fall season if you're not prepared. And Dr. Michael Kwast is here from iChiro Clinics to talk about how you can maybe stave off those slips and falls by doing a little bit of advance work on your body. Hi, Dr. Kwast.
Hey, how are you?
I am well, thank you. We do hear so much about slipping and falling, and some of it's inevitable, right? An icy, dangerous parking lot, but you really feel strongly about doing things to stave that off.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much that can be done. Obviously people talk about fall and it's always like an accident. However, some people are at higher risk than others of falling based on their physical abilities. So people who don't have good balance to begin with, higher risk of falling. People who have really good balance, lower risk. And the first step is to know what your risk level of falling is. And there's a simple test you can do. We do in our office where you just stand on one leg, you try to balance, see if you can. You definitely want to have something close by to hold on to so we don't have people watching the show and they're all falling over in their living room because they're high risk and didn't know. And then the second part of the test is you stand on one leg, you try to balance, and then you close your eyes. And what this does is it takes the visual component of balance out. So it's all on your inner ear and on all of your receptors in your muscles and tissues. So all these receptors tell you where your body is in space. So like if I look at my thumb, I can't see, but is my thumb up or down? It's up. How do I know? Because there's receptors in there that tell my brain where I am in space. And so you have these in your feet and all your muscles and tissues. And what happens is people who can't do that test very well, so they stand on one leg, they close their eyes, whoa, they lose their balance. Guess what? You're at high risk. A person who can do that test with no problem, they are at low risk. Let's send both people out to the parking lot and which one's going to fall. Right. So there's so much you can do. It's just people don't know and they think, oh, I don't have a problem, I'm fine. And then you do that test and you find out you got a big problem and you're a disaster waiting to happen. And that's the sad part. Most people just wait for it to happen and then they're living the rest of their life in a nursing home, or they're breaking a hip, or they're having some major thing happen when you could have been proactive and mitigated your risk of having that fall.
Yeah, let's talk about being proactive then. What do you do to mitigate the risk?
Yeah, so the first step is we do the testing, right, to see where their balance problems are. Second thing is once you know that, then you set up a treatment plan to change the way those receptors are sending messages to your brain. And that's where the technology that we have will actually change those receptors and actually improve their ability to communicate to your brain. And then we can remeasure and you can see if you're making gains on your balance. And then once you get that good, there's a whole bunch of different exercises and training tips that you can do to help maintain that. And I would postulate if you took a person and you did all that stuff, we got their balance good, we teach you how to keep it good, and then you do that through the years, your odds of falling are going to be less than if you did nothing.
You make that assessment, I know, part of what you do with new patients in your offices, right? That's how important you feel that whole thing is.
Yeah, so we've added that balance test to part of our just new patients. When they come in, we do our evaluation. We're going to evaluate people's balance, even if they don't think it's a problem, because there's so many people that it's a giant problem and they're totally unaware of it. And in my opinion, we wouldn't be doing our job if we're not at least pointing that out. And then that way people can choose whether they want to do something about it or not. Most people want to do something about it. And, when you throw in other factors like posture, people who are hunched over, that person's higher risk of falling too, because they're already leaning forward because they're hunched. So it doesn't take much and they're going to topple forward. And you see that all the time too. And people think, oh, it's no big deal, I'm just hunched. Yeah, it is actually a big deal because now your risk of falling is so much bigger than if you were standing upright. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. The bottom line is the outcome is we want to try to eliminate as many falls as possible because that's going to give you a better quality of life. So people at risk, they need to be like getting that checked.
All right, get it checked. You can learn more about iChiro clinics on their website. It is ichiroclinics.com. Thanks, Dr. Kwast.
Thank you.